Hey there, welcome to A Little Less Lisa. My name is Lisa and I am currently on a weight loss journey / maintenance. I think I'm wanting to lose a few more pounds, so I was in maintenance, but now I think I might be wanting to go back to loss. That's a whole nother story and for another video. So if you are interested in hearing that, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Just click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload videos. But today's video is going to be all about the top tips for starting a GLP-1 medication. So, you know you're doing this, you've got your prescription, and it's sitting in the refrigerator. Now what? So if you want to hear what I think are some great tips to starting a GLP-1 medication, then stick around. So again, we're on the assumption here that you are starting your GLP-1 medication, whether that be zepbound or mounjaro or Wegovy or ozempic or compounded tirzepatide, which is what I'm on, or compounded semaglutide, or maybe you're on Rybelsus. You know, there are many different options here, but specifically we're really talking about the injectable ones is what I'm going to focus on because that's what I've taken. So I'm just trying to give you some tips from my own personal experience. I guess this is a great time to say I am not a doctor. I am not a medical provider. This is not medical advice. I am just sharing some of these things from my own personal experience, what worked for me, what maybe didn't, how it might help you, and all of that. So, like I said, this is under the assumption that you have your prescription ready to go, you are raring to go, but you think, wow, I have it now what do I do? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to be hydrated. Before you take your first shot, and we'll talk kind of about time of day and that sort of thing, but please make sure that you are hydrated. And frankly, I would start hydrating several days before you take your first shot. You're going to want to be in the habit of drinking water and, really getting in at least 80 ounces a day. So you might as well start early. Again, trying to build healthy habits little bits at a time makes it a lot easier than trying to start 5 new things all at once. So, let's say you've gone to the doctor, they've written you the prescription, or you've talked to the telehealth company and they've phoned in or sent the prescription and it's now on its way to you. Take these days to drink that extra water and really get your body hydrated because you will be much happier from many different perspectives if your body is hydrated. Tip number 2, also from kind of a prep situation, is make sure that you have some GI medications on hand. So whether that be some anti-nausea medicine, whether that's like something over the counter like Nausine, I think maybe is what it's called, or you have a prescription for Zofran, something like that, making sure that you maybe have some Pepto-Bismol or some anti-diarrhea medicine, and definitely have something for constipation. Because I think if you polled 100 people in the GLP-1 community, I would venture to guess the majority of people have experienced constipation at some point in their journey. So, get some fiber supplements, get some magnesium. I happen to take Mag-07. I personally really like that. I took a different magnesium supplement for the first maybe month or so, and then I discovered through somebody else's channel Mag-07. If you're interested in it, I have a lot of these sort of like basic things listed in the description box. You do not need to use my links, but if you do, thank you. But it makes it easier for you to shop. They're there for you. So make sure you have those things so that if you get some of the most common side effects, which are nausea, constipation, and diarrhea, one of those 3, you are prepared and have what you need. So you have been hydrating for a few days, you've got all your, GI accoutrement ready and sitting on the sideline in case you need it. Now you're ready to take that shot. So let's talk about some timing things and things like that. The first thing I would say is if you work, especially if you work outside the home, or, maybe you work from home, but you have, an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, whatever it is, or frankly, you work third shift, I don't know, whatever it is, whatever those days are that you work, you might want to think about taking your shot on the last day of your work week. So, whether you work Monday through Friday and want to take it on Friday, or maybe you work, Tuesday to Saturday and your weekend is Sunday and Monday, whatever it is, you're trying to give yourself the most amount of time to potentially recuperate from some of the most common side effects during that downtime, right? So, if you take your shot on a Wednesday and you end up being really, really sick to your stomach, or you are just exhausted the next day, which is Thursday, and you have to give some major presentation to the vice president of your company, probably not the best time to take your shot, right? So that's my point, is if you work and you have kind of, a regular schedule, whatever, I would highly recommend taking your shot sort of the last day of work, whatever that day is for you. The next is to think about taking your shot at night. Now, people take them all different times of the day. I've taken mine all different times of the day, but when I started, I definitely focused on taking mine at night because I didn't really know what kind of side effects I might have. And the theory is that if you take your shot at night, that you may then sleep through some of those side effects. So if you do get nauseous, if you're nauseous while you're sleeping and it's not enough to, wake you up or keep you awake, that kind of thing, that you may benefit from, like I said, sort of sleeping through some of those side effects. Now, some people have the side effect of insomnia. If you take your first shot and you take it at night, as I've just mentioned, and you find yourself wide awake at 3 or 4 a.m., then next week, don't take it at night. Take it in the morning. So this one might be kind of a trial and error sort of thing, but I think for most people, again, I think if you took a poll of 100 GLP-1 users, I think the majority of them would have more GI related side effects as opposed to insomnia. In fact, I think probably more people are more tired as a side effect than insomnia. But like I said, if you are one of those who it affects you with insomnia, then next week and following, take it in the morning. So as I talked about, planning your shot, especially if you work to be on your last day of work, right? Because as I gave the scenario, you don't want to take your shot and then the next day have to give some big presentation to, some C-suite person in your company and you feel like crap. The same thing goes with other important things in your life, right? So if your son's birthday party is tomorrow, probably don't take your shot the day before that, right? So if you have things that are coming up that are important for you to attend, whatever those things are, then schedule your shot around that, right? So the whole point here is to kind of think about your calendar and your schedule and what you have to do and those type of things and what you need to accomplish. Don't take your shot the day before you're moving, okay? Don't take the shot the day before you have to pack your daughter and take her to college. Just think about what you have coming up and plan accordingly. So along those same lines, my next piece of advice is don't take your shot before you have big plans, right? So, if you have a wedding to go to on Saturday, then yeah, probably don't take your shot on Friday. Maybe you want to take it when you get home from the wedding Saturday night so that you are still taking it in the evening and you still maybe have one day. Let's say you have a traditional weekend, so Saturday, Sunday is off and Monday you go back to work. Maybe you take it when you get home from the wedding Saturday night because you're taking it in the evening, which means hopefully you can sleep through any side effects that you might have. And then on Sunday, if you're kind of feeling lethargic and you're having some of the kind of standard tiredness that I think a lot of people feel on this medication, especially the day after a shot and especially if it's a new dose, then, at least you have one full day to kind of recover from that, right? So again, think about what you have coming up in your life, look at your calendar, see what's coming up, and plan your shot around those kind of bigger events in your life. Okay, so now you've got your shot, it's sitting, whether it's the box of pens or the vial of compounded medication is sitting in your fridge, and you've looked at your calendar and you've got nothing going on this weekend and you work Monday through Friday, so Friday works for you and you're gonna take it at night, and you've got all your GI meds and you've been drinking plenty of water for the last 4 days, you are ready to take your shot. Now what are you gonna do? Okay, the first thing I want you to do is find a calm setting, okay? Maybe that means you need to lock the bedroom door or the bathroom door, because I don't know about you guys, but if you have kids, especially if you have little kids, they just come on in, they don't knock. I mean, again, if you guys have little kids, it's like, when was the last time you were able to pee in private, right? They just walk in. So it can be nerve-wracking to give your first shot. Frankly, I still it takes me a second before I can actually do that jab. Now, I think maybe the pens are a little bit easier because you don't actually have to go through the act of putting it in and pushing the plunger. You just put it on top of your skin and push a button and it does, the work for you. But still, especially if it's your first time, find a calm setting where, like I said, you can close the door, lock it, you can have privacy so that you can, sit down, take some deep breaths, because for a lot of people, it's scary. All of my kids are IVF babies, and so I'm very used to giving myself injections throughout that process. So this wasn't necessarily that hard for me, and I was very accustomed to withdrawing medicine into a syringe from a vial through that process. But for a lot of people, you're gonna be a little stressed probably. So find a calm setting. I forgot this one, but honestly, before you even get to this, I don't know, what did I have? 8, I think, tips. This would be a bonus tip before I get to the others, but take 30 minutes or whatever amount of time before you do any of this and read through your instructions, right? Read through that, pamphlet or whatever that comes in the box of Zepbound or Mounjaro or whatever name brand medication you're taking. If you are taking compound, please make sure that you are reading the instructions from the provider that sent you the medication, okay? There are different ways that they are compounded in different strengths, and so don't just assume that 2.5 milligrams of tirzepatide means you're going to withdraw 25 units. You need to see how that compounding pharmacy compounded your particular dosage and make sure that you know so that you don't overdose yourself on this medication, right? So again, I totally forgot this one, but now that I'm talking about it, this is really important. Make sure that you have taken the time to read through that information so that you feel comfortable in what you're doing. Maybe that also means that you need to have a loved one or a friend or somebody else give you the injection, right? So try to think that through and think who you might need help from. And again, have them come with you then into a private space where you can be calm, take some deep breaths, just relax, and then we'll get to the last step. So the last tip that I have for, doing a successful first GLP-1 injection is to be prepared from the shot perspective. So we obviously already talked about reading everything. And like I said, I really think you should do that more than at the time you're about to do your injection. I think that should be, like I said, maybe step number 6 or 7, whatever in the order. But the last thing then that you're going to want to do, you're in this calm setting, you've got privacy, you've locked the bathroom door, is set everything out in front of you, right? The last thing you want to be doing is, pulling out the needle or whatever, and you're about to give yourself the injection and you realize that you didn't sterilize, your skin, or you didn't sterilize the top of the vial. So just get all of your supplies out. So your alcohol wipes. If you are taking the name brand medication, obviously the pen, make sure you know how that pen works, because my understanding is the Mounjaro zepbound pen works differently than the Ozempic Wegovy pen. Like, you have to do some special safety thing first. If you do it out of order, then you waste a shot. So again, please make sure you've read and you know what you're doing. But get out your alcohol wipes, get out your injection. If you have a compounded medication, then obviously you're going to need both your vial of medicine and the syringe. Make sure you have the right size syringe, and make sure you know how to do that. So make sure everything is laid out. Some people like to use like an ice pack or a cold pack on the injection site after they give a shot. So if that's something you think you're going to want, again, have that all out and have it laid out in front of you, so that it's very, very easy then to actually go through the process of preparing for the injection and then giving it. So hopefully you found these tips helpful. I know that they are pretty much everything that I went through. I know I really remember reading my directions and making sure that I thoroughly understood how much medication I was supposed to be, withdrawing into the vial. Don't go onto Facebook groups, by the way, and ask these questions, especially when it comes to dosing. If you are on a compound, please, please, please make sure that you read the instructions that come with your medication. If for some reason you didn't get instructions, which you absolutely should, whether they are sent to you via email from your telehealth provider, or it comes actually packed in with the medication that was shipped to you. If you don't have that for some reason, please do not take your shot. Please make sure that you call your provider or email your provider or message your provider and get that actually squared away, and so that you firmly understand what that dose should be. I know I'm reiterating things, but that's so, so important. But like I said, hopefully these things will help you if you are new to your journey. If you are new to your journey, I'm thrilled that you're here, and I hope it's an amazing journey. Mine has been pretty amazing. So if you'd like to see how mine has gone, like I said, if you're new here, I have a playlist of all of my weekly check-ins, so feel free to go back and watch those. But I'm happy to have you here, and if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer any questions, obviously based on my own experience, not medical advice again, but happy to help in any way I can. If you enjoyed the video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. It does help the YouTube algorithm. And like I said, if you enjoy this kind of content, I would love to see you back here. So click the subscribe button and the notification bell. It really means a lot to a content creator when you subscribe to their channel. If you have not had enough of me yet, there'll be another video over in the corner here that you can just click on and watch. YouTube thinks that's what you'd like to watch next, so click on that. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.